Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Pastafarians and friends, it's 10 a.m. I am awake here in Safe Word Studios. I've got 1 litre here of very cherry cola. Josephine sitting here.
Hello.
So we're streaming out into the darkness. I got the truth, I got the proof. Jesus lied, Muhammad lied, Joe Smith lied. Your mama lied.
Girls, 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 girls,
Everything I do it for a girl. I do it for a girl. I do it for a girl. Everything I do it for a girl. I do it for a girl. I do it for a girl. Girls, oh girls, they turn my mind around in circles. Oh girls, they turn the world around in circles. Everything I do it for a girl. I do it for a girl. I do it for a girl. Everything I do it for a girl. I do it for a girl. I do it for a girl. Girls, oh girls, they turn my mind around in circles. Oh girls, they turn the world around in circles. Oh girls.
Alright, Pastafarians, and ladies and gentlemen, and friends and Romans and countrymen, welcome to the stream. Today is the 25th day of July. The Thor's Day. Thank you again, Thor, for all that you've done for us, for creating thunder and lightning, and for killing Loki so that no one's fucking tricking us anymore. So, I'm gonna upload some more Lonnie Mathern here, eh? We got some Lonnie Mathern to watch. Lonnie Mathern Part 5. It's up right now. It might be like fucking frame rate. Hello, checking. Can you? One of them's me, Prololaby, and then the other one, of course, is the NSA because they like to record everything that we do. And so we're just waiting around until more people show up, because the NSA doesn't give a shit. The NSA never talks back. Very rude.
And they don't give us transcripts.
And they never send us transcripts they keep promising.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So we would like them to be a part of the conversation.
Yeah, come on, SSA. NSA. Just, don't be like that. Don't be so shy. Participate. So, let's see. Nothing Again to Smoke with Dankrupt. Welcome to... Meridian Heights is here. Says morning. The screen is cutting in and out a little. Yes, it's because we're uploading for the next 2 minutes the video that we will be premiering at the end of today's stream. Should be over in about 2 minutes. We should have done this before I started streaming, but my brain is a little bit slow today, and it's because, like I said, we're totally bankrupt. We've been looking at all the little containers that we contain our ground up marijuana in, and they're all fucking it, I guess. 6:55. No. No.
Superstars in magazines, an old friend calls and tells us where to meet. A plane takes off from Baltimore and touches down on Bourbon Street. Sit outside RSA. Ma Teresa's joined the mob and happy with her full-time job. My life, the thoughts that drift away. The summer come for everyone. Can humans do what prophets say? And if I die before I learn to speak, can money pay for all the days I lived awake but half asleep?
Gentlemen and ladies, Pastafarians, me, Schizophrenic Mitch. Here we are on Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. Happy pre-Friday, everybody's. We're done uploading. We'll be premiering 5 more minutes of our conversation with Lonnie Mathern on this channel. Meridian Heights says, I want to meet Pastafarians in my area. Maybe start a chapter or just a meetup group or a munch. Lol, any advice? I don't have any idea how to start. Maybe make a YouTube video about it or something? That's a good idea. With a sort of area in the title. Also look around for secular groups in your area. Yeah.
Yeah, on Facebook if you have it, or meetups.
Facebook's a really good place. Meetups? What's that? Facebook meetups? Or meetups.com or some shit?
Something like that. Lots of different groups get together, like secular. And you can start your own, and then people will see, oh, there's a Pastafarian group.
Yeah, it's a great idea,
You can put flyers up at all the colleges.
Yeah. Flyers at colleges? That sounds like a task, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you need someone to draw a flyer for you, though, you know,
Yeah.
I know someone here that can help out.
I do too.
If you're watching the stream right now, you see a flyer that she made here for our Spring Preach and Rebuke tour. So yeah, yeah, that's a really good idea. You're gonna start slow though, because yeah, very slow it is. Yeah, because I've been doing it not local but like global, which is, you know, YouTube goes over the whole glob, and nobody's. I mean, well, there's 750 of us, eh? So no, it's not nobody. Yeah, but that's a good idea. What do you think, NSA? What should Meridian Heights do? Let's see if we can get NSA to respond. I don't think they will. They're very, very quiet. Or maybe it's not the NSA. Maybe it's the Russians trying to infiltrate our truth thing here. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when they finally talk who it is that's watching there. Fascinating conversations. I'm copying some of these things right here. Plugging it in here. Part 4-5. Okay, so that's ready to premiere when it's when this shit is done. Alright. So yeah, that first segment here is done. Let me get my notes.
Yeah.
Read my notes. Friends of the World. I think we've done that one. I'm a friend of the world. I like this place.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool place.
I like this place a lot.
Things that I like most about this place is like sunny days. I was made for sunny days, and I was made for you. Anyone? Anyone know the Weepies?
I also like rainy days.
I also like rainy days. Yes, that's true. Rainy days and sunny days. And sort of when the snow falls, that's real pretty. Yeah. I enjoy delicious foods. Like when I'm eating a delicious food, I go, oh my god, this is delicious. I'm enjoying this. I'm a friend of that.
I love conversations.
Conversations are fun. I like it when a person is talking to me and I'm like, yeah. We are feeling very similar right now.
That's fun.
That is fun. I'm a friend of that. Yeah. A friend of lots of things. So... It's strange part of the Bible where it says, if you're a friend of this planet, you're an enemy of God, because, you know, that's definitely not true, actually. This is God's creation. If you're a friend of it, you're a friend of the Creator, eh? Like, God chose for it to be like this. God made it like this. It's all part of the Creator's plan, quote-unquote. Although, you know, I don't know how involved the plan is, you know, because like I feel that this universe is excrement, is God's excrement, is flying spaghetti monsters. It's nothing more planned than me being like, oh man, I gotta go shit, you know. That's the great plan. Is and so then being like, and then I'm going to flush my shit down the toilet, and then it's gonna sit in my fucking septic tank until Daisy Septic comes and fucking pumps it out. Like, that's not part of the plan, is it? It's just sort of what happens after the plan's over. So I think the Flying Spaghetti Monsters, quote, plan, as it were, it was really just like, I gotta get me to the fucking toilet. Right, that was the great plan of flying spaghetti monster. Mato Fritz is here. Hello, Mato. It's been a while. How you been?
Hi.
We're just here, sort of getting ready for tomorrow, which is Friday. We got any plans for Friday going into town? No, I'm hearing no Friday plans. Well, that's fine. We'll stay here and in the studio and have some prayers, have some people go by, get really drunk. I got some whiskey, got some brandy. We get real fucked up on Friday and TGIF all day long.
Fuck yeah.
So please do join us tomorrow. Maybe we'll even premiere more than 5 minutes of Lonnie Mathern. Wouldn't that be cool? Fucking a bonus 5 minutes tomorrow. Maybe. No promises. But yeah, if you are live streaming the premiere of Lonnie Mathern's conversation with us today, let us know. We'll come watch it with you. We'll chat in your chats. And also, if you're premiering, we gotta find the title for this one. We don't really have a title for it yet, but I'm sure it's in there. I'm sure it's in there.
Sure of it.
Yeah. All of these notes have gone over them already. Done it. Check. Done it. Alright, that one's done. Here's another piece of paper with notes on it. It's almost done too. Sarcasm versus irony. You know, sometimes we've got these pet peeves, you know. This one's my pet peeve, is when people use irony to mean sarcasm.
No.
So, I'm not saying... Because they're like, you're wearing that shirt ironically. And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm wearing it sarcastically. It's a totally different word. Because ironically is like... Isn't it ironic that the Crusades were done in the name of a guy who says he loves peace? Isn't that ironic? Like, that's irony.
Yeah.
Because they weren't sarcastically murdering people in the Crusades. They were ironically murdering people. But they weren't walking around being like, look at this irony! As they killed people, right? They were... So that's not true. Ironic is sort of what you can do when you're looking at something from the future. That was fucking ironic, isn't it?
Right.
Like, isn't it ironic that the fucking FBI was fucking trying to get Martin Luther King Jr. to kill himself because of his infidelity? And isn't it ironic that what's his name was super unfaithful to his wife? Isn't that ironic? But he wasn't doing it ironically when he was boning somebody. So yeah, let's use the word sarcastically a little bit more. Because, like, when I'm wearing a MAGA hat, I'm wearing it sarcastically. It might also be true that I'm wearing it ironically, but I think sarcastically is a better word. And, you know, am I being a Pastafarian ironically? No, I'm doing it sarcastically, and I'm doing it as a parody, but I'm not doing it to be ironic. Because, I don't think that's what irony is, eh?
Yeah, it definitely does seem like looking back on something and being like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
How
Ironic, yeah.
ironic, yeah.
How ironic that trying to get the first woman president is what really caused us to have Donald Trump, eh? Is that the fucking Democratic Party was with Tim, what's his dick? Tim Rice? What was that asshole's name? The running mate of Hillary. Tim...
Cannot even find that.
Yeah, but he was the head of the DNC when they gave the nomination to Obama, and so they were like, cool, we'll do Obama and then we'll do Hillary and then it'll be great. And so it's ironic that living up to that weird promise they made, that backroom promise to get Hillary elected next, is what caused the other side to have an in to be like, okay, well, we're 4 years ahead of you. You're talking about last year's shit, and we're talking about next year's shit, and so we're going to win. And isn't it ironic that we're going to do that exact same thing again? Isn't it going to be ironic that fucking going with the safe bet Biden is what's going to definitely get Trump a second term?
Yep.
Maybe just a third, maybe a third and fourth. Although, I mean, if he runs for his third term, he'll be running against Obama, right? So that'll be exciting.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that, even though Obama ran, 12 years ago. God damn it. We're still over a decade ago in our shit.
Yeah.
I'd like to be looking toward the future. But oh well. Enough of that. Tomato Fritz is just chilling. Yeah, so are we, man. Just fucking chilling. Waking up on a Thursday. Nothing really planned. Except to talk about my pet peeves online. So I'm not saying don't say irony. I'm not saying I hate the word irony. I'm saying I like the word sarcasm a lot better. It's a bit more communicative when you're saying I'm wearing this MAGA hat sarcastically. It's a little bit... It's a better description of it than ironically. So a lot of people are like, how do you know that Jesus Christ is mythology? And so here's the proof. There's lots of proofs, but here's one of them, and I call this one, he definitely was not a perfect carpenter. Okay? So, first of all, there was a thing called a Nazarene, and there was another thing called a Nazarite, right around when they were writing the New Testament. And they kind of got the idea of a Nazarene and a Nazarite confused. And so in one of the books, they were like, well, I thought you said that, I thought the Old Testament said that the Messiah is going to be a Nazarite. And I was like, no, he's going to be a Nazarene, which means he lives out in the wilderness and eats honey and bugs and doesn't go in for a lot of these societal constructs. And the people in the New Testament thought, or the people who were writing the New Testament, or one of them, thought it meant he came from the town of Nazareth. And no, that's not it. So that's why in one of them he moves up to Nazareth. He's like, because see, the Old Testament said he was going to be a Nazarite. And it's like, okay, it said something else. Same thing with the.
It's their story.
Yeah, the same thing with the virgin birth. Is the people who were writing the New Testament had a bad translation of the Old Testament, and they thought one of the words meant virgin, and it didn't. It meant young lady. Like, it just meant young lady.
Yeah.
Soon a young lady will have a baby, and that baby will be the Messiah. And they thought it meant a virgin has a baby. Like, no, that's not what they meant. And so, yeah, they made that up in one of the things. They're like, to fulfill the prophecy that we didn't even get translated right. So anyway, back to the perfect carpenter. Between the ages of 12 and 30, we have no idea what this arsehole was doing in the mythology. There's nothing. But we do know that he was perfect during that time, and we also know that he was a carpenter during that time. And we, no, quote unquote, no. In the story, these are the claims. So he lived in Nazareth, and he helped his fucking stepfather with carpentry. And so I can assume he was a perfect carpenter, right, from Nazareth. And so he was doing that for what, 18 years, right? 12 to 30? That's a lot of fucking carpentry, right? 18 years times 300, because he probably took some days off.
Right.
He probably made a lot of perfect furniture, right? So where are all the people in the past being like, this is the best fucking table that's ever been made?
It was made by a perfect human.
No. You would be able to tell it. You don't even have to, it doesn't even say anything. Like, you don't even have to be like, I want to meet the guy that makes this, right?
Right.
But it definitely is like, this company makes perfect furniture. This table is incredibly perfect. It's level. It's the levelest table that's ever existed. And so there's a huge lack of perfect furniture coming out of Nazareth during those 18 years. And so there you go. There's proof that Jesus is mythology. Because no one's got the best chair ever. And wouldn't that chair last forever if it was made by God, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't all that furniture still be around?
Yeah.
If it was perfect? This is one of the claims of the Mormon theology, is that the clothes that Adam and Eve had when they left the garden were God made, right? And so God made them clothes out of fig leaves and I think he says out of hides, actually. that God makes them hide clothes or something.
Okay.
Maybe it's in the Book of Abraham or something. But since God made it, it never rotted. It was perfect. And so the clothes that Adam and Eve wore out of the garden are still around somewhere.
Wow.
Or they've been taken back up into heaven so that we don't have to deal with what do these perfect clothes mean? It proves Adam and Eve. So, you know, if you could show me the perfect fucking table or chairs or cabinet set from Nazareth during that 18-year production period, it's a long time. You could build a lot of furniture in 18
lot of
years.
stuff.
Even taking weekends off, eh?
Yeah.
Which I don't think they had back then. They just had the one day. Not a whole double-day weekend. Which we're trying to make it a triple-day weekend. I heard someone propose an 8-day week, and I think that's fucking genius. 8 days a week, 5 days on, 3 days off. Let's get it done. I don't know who we have to call to be like, 7 is the dumbest number because it's prime. Let's fucking have an 8-day week. It's more better.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you know the person in charge of how long a week is, let me know. I'll tweet them, have a talk to them, try to get this a little betterized.
Christ.
Yeah, we could betterize the world, you and me, for the entire human race, and we can heal the world. And we can also just listen to music together. We can also be like, this music makes me feel very good inside. So there's a little bit of that for you. A little bit of the chromatics, ticking out the time, ticking the clock out for us. Meridian Heights says, you seem to be very well versed about the stories of the Bible. Is that from growing up Mormon? If so, that's kind of ironic. I'm not being sarcastic. I see what you're doing. I see what you've done here. Made some jokes, have you? I do say. But yes, that is correct. Not just that. It's also, I've read a lot of the Bible afterwards as well.
Yeah.
But it's not just that.
Right.
Yeah. When I was a Mormon, I was always confused. I was really sad for people who, like, had been raped at a young age and then spent their whole life sort of fighting against it. To me, it felt like they let that event take control of their life. To me, it felt like how sad that one event can color their entire existence. They never outgrow it. They never get to live their life free of it. Mm-hmm. And so I felt very sad for those people who, like, were molested in their youth and then spent their entire life trying to fight against those sort of things and protect other people from it. And it seemed to me like a damaged life, and the life has to focus on the damage instead of ever rising above it. And this is how I thought 20 years ago. I felt bad, and it's kind of ironic. That's exactly what I'm doing. Like, I woke up at 35 being like, oh shit, I've been abused. I've been raised in a cult. And it was my whole life in the cult. It took over my life. And then outside of the cult, it's still a huge fucking part of my life. I can't stop fucking thinking about just the abundance of cults in this country, on this planet, and the volume of abuse that continues because of this shit. Yeah. And here I find myself doing exactly what I pitied for the first half of my life. I find that to be very ironic. I feel differently about people who are like, I got raped once, so let's erase that from the planet. I feel differently about that sort of thing now, because I'm like, oh yeah. I get it. That's the kind of thing you could be like, I'm busy until all the rape is cured. You guys can go do what you want and whatever. You can live your affected lives, but that really is a luxury on this planet at the moment, and I'm going to try to give that luxury to more people. So no, I definitely was wrong in my understanding of that, and now that I am using my hobby space and my sort of third slot of give a shit, because my first slot of give a shit is like family, my spouse and children's. And the second slot is none of your business. Radiant Heights says, a friend of mine was in seminary school when he became an atheist. In the subreddit, the ex-Mormon subreddit, there will often be a person who types in and says, oh shit, I'm on my mission right now, and I just realized this is all bullshit. And, there's pros and cons of waking up on your mission. The pro is, cool.
Get the fuck out of that prison.
That's an early time to fucking wake up, right? Good job.
Yeah.
You got your whole adult life waiting for you. That's a great place to fucking figure it out. But then the cons are, that's a really terrible place to figure it out. Your whole life is this. Like, you have to throw away your whole life. So, yeah, I think about when I was a sailor. Nope. I think about when I was a missionary and, like, what would happen if I had, been like, oh, shit! Because the thing for me, the moment that done it, because there was shit leading up to it, and then there was just, like... When we're missionaries for the Mormon Church, we say, look, all this shit doesn't matter. The thing that does... And we say shit there. It's very important when you say the word shit right there. The thing that does matter is if you say a prayer, and your prayer is like, "Oh, dear creator of this universe, is Joseph Smith a prophet?" If you get a good feeling about that, then that means he was a prophet. And that means the Book of Mormon is true. And that means the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is true. And so this one feeling you can have cascades this knowledge. This knowledge cascades from this feeling. It's an avalanche of things you must believe now after you've felt it. And you're like, okay, well, I believe it because of that feeling. And
Any questions we have, God will explain when I die.
right. I mean, I had that feeling, and so there's all this other stuff must just be misunderstanding. And so, you know, there was a lot of like, okay, this is weird. There's a lot of like, I've never heard of this before. But then there was just a moment where I was like, well, I'm going to pray about this. I'm going to pray, and I'm going to ask the Creator if Joseph Smith was a liar. And I received those feelings like I had before. Can't deny that.
Yeah.
In the same way.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing fell apart, just cascaded to pieces. Yeah, the prayer was Joseph Smith the kind of guy that would just say whatever? Even if it was true or not, he would just say it. And he definitely was. Did he have the same problem that L. Ron Hubbard had, which was when there were people looking at you and faces and expectant eyes staring at you, he would just say anything, whatever was on the top of his head, and he'd just point at the stars and tell you what was happening on those stars. And not care, because, I mean, you can't prove that it's not true. L. Ron Hubbard had that problem, and I suppose that was the prayer. Did Joseph Smith have that problem? And it was after I found out about Zelf, and it was after I really looked at the expositor that apparently had all the libel in it, but it didn't. It had only truth.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, was Joseph Smith willing to tell lies to promote his own narrative? Yeah, absolutely he was. Yep. And, you know, then the whole thing falls to pieces. Oh, the Book of Abraham was helpful as well. When he was like, I'm going to translate these papyri. Oh my god, it's the Book of Abraham! Like, that was really a sort of a big one. A whopper. So yeah, if I had that experience when I was a missionary, how different my life would have been. How very, very incredibly different. Because like I say, I was a missionary in 97 and 99. Like, I could have been out of this shit in the year 2000 instead of the year 2015. That's a long time later. I could have got a lot of fucking shit done in the intervening 15 years. Especially with how pissed I would have been, eh?
Yeah.
Because I think I would have been equally as pissed. Like, wait a minute! Probably would have stayed in New Zealand, though, if I really was able to come to my senses at that point. Probably just walked away and just been a sort of undocumented immigrant to New Zealand. Because, yeah, one of the greatest mistakes of my life was leaving that place. I won't make it again. So, yeah, don't give me a ticket to New Zealand. Or if you're sick of me in America, do, right? If you're like, we need to get rid of this person, send me to New Zealand, I won't come back. That's great. That sounds great. It's a good trade.
You should definitely tweet about that. I want to be a Pastafarian preacher in
New Zealand. That's right, because you're supposed to call your shots now, and you do it on Twitter. You're like, here's what I'm doing. I want this role. And, you know, I hope that my friend does get a role in Star Trek. Did I finish that story?
No.
She wants to work in Star Trek.
That's
I didn't
cool.
finish that story. So she tweeted out, I did say that she worked in the Star Wars thing, and she's
Yeah.
like, new Star Treks are coming out, and I want to do this, and I want to be this. And so, yeah, I hope it works. But I don't know if it does. I don't think Twitter is the magical prayer answerer that we hope it will be. I don't think there is a prayer answerer. I think this is only us, but I definitely think that she's able to get what she wants. I think she's able to, first of all, I think she'd be good at it. And secondly, you know, you get what you take, I suppose. So I think she's strong enough to take a part in the new Star Trek universe.
Yeah.
We already talked about it. I'm very worried about the new show Picard. Very worried about it. Because I think it's not going to be Picard. I think it's going to be Patrick Stewart.
Tired old.
Yeah, which is fine. I like Patrick Stewart.
I do too.
Yeah.
He's a cutie.
I think he's really cute. And he smokes weed every day. Woot! Patrick Stewart, smoke weed every day!
But I also really, really like Picard's personality, and I don't think that's going to be there.
I think there's going to be a lot less Picard than there was in, let's say, season 4.
Yeah, right.
Right? He was very Picardy. Our first... I have it in my book. My book's downstairs. Your Starfleet officer. First something is to the truth.
Yes.
Be it historical truth, scientific truth, or personal truth. And if you can't, right, screaming at Wesley, then you don't deserve to wear that uniform. It's very good shit. Picard was a hardcore motherfucker, and I love that guy. So I do hope we still get a lot more Picard, but I'm, again, worried. I'm worried, no, that's not going to be it. Dude, my apologies for all the music today, but kind of no apologies, because I like music. Also, I like prescription medications that help me not be so heartburny and snot gobbly. This is, of course, Pearl Jam's Vitalogy. Not Vitology. Vitalogy. Meridian Hyatt says, thank you for sharing your story. Oh, ha 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 ha. It's going to happen whether you thank me or not, whether you appreciate it or not. I'm just going to fucking scream it onto the internet.
Continually.
Yeah, over and over and over. It's nice that it's... yeah. And again, we're having a premiere of 5 more minutes conversation with Lonnie Mathern. It's over a week ago we recorded it. I gotta call him back and be like, time for more, bro!
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. I'm gonna put it on my schedule. But, you know, maybe not. Oops. Don't listen to that. Don't listen to that guitar sound. That was not, that's for later. Please just forget all about what you just heard. Let's see. Is there anything else to talk about on my notes? Blah, 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 blah. Where's all the perfect furniture? That's funny. Also, coming up, I've been told, the twice in a row best actor in the world for, Philadelphia Story and, Forrest Gump. Playing gay and then, mentally deficient is what he got his, awards for. They were all like, wow, you played gay so good. I was like, you guys don't know any gay people. How do you know he played gay good? You don't know. Anyway, he got them awards, and now he's going to be playing St. Fred McFeely Rogers. Gets a movie about that. Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, or Won't You Be My Neighbor, or, you know, something from that song.
Yeah.
So that's exciting that these Pastafarian saints and prophets are getting the recognition that they deserve and have earned, and that the promotion of these great thinkers will definitely make this planet better.
Mm-hmm.
The more we analyze what it was that Fred McFeely Rogers was trying to do on this planet. I heard that he sort of that the things that he was doing have been diluted, that edutainment has turned into entertainment. And it, that it should have just been education with a slight bit of entertainment, but it just, you put a little bit of that shit in there, and corporations and the bottom line just fucking push it all the way to entertainment. There's no space in this world for education, which is unfortunate because our great malady is our ignorance. Yeah,
that we're born with.
Yeah, education is the cure.
Yeah.
For the sin that we are born with. We are born unknowing.
For around the world.
Everyone, every brain is
Yes.
born clean and uneducated. A space for education with an empty space. And so, what a difficult task it is to really find these effective ways of education, to find these... The hardest task in this is how to educate someone who's resisting it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in our public school system, it's just a fucking fire hose of education into their brains. And, in a prison setting, right?
Yes.
And so, it follows that a person can resist, can find value in resisting the prison that they find themselves in, the slavery, the servitude. Because, you know, if I talk to my 11-year-old right now and it's like, okay, do you want to get on this bus and go to school, or do you want to stay home and not? And it's like, that's a real easy question. Do you want to go to the jail today and hang out with your jailer, or do you want to be free? Resistance is a very strong reaction to being compelled, right? Compelled to do something. And so the way that we educate is just so fucking crazy. Especially, you know what I like to do? I like to take 30 kids that are not the same and just smash them through the same program.
Yeah.
And anyone that falls behind is deficient.
Yeah.
For any reason whatsoever.
And it's clear that, you know, you're being evil. It's always religious based. It's not like there's different brains out there and there's different ways to learn.
Absolutely. All people learn differently. We've got to tailor this to the other people.
Very
it's like
quickly.
Yeah. And happily for me, I learn very well from lectures. Lectures are very good for my style of learning. But why on earth would we require all Americans to have that same style? It's very crazy.
Yeah.
And, in maths, if you fucking miss the day, if you miss... Which I did. I think I was out during the quadratic equation. And so it's this great mystery in my mind for my entire life. And people are all like, it's 1/4 BC minus C square root. And like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Like, I never can fucking connect it into my thing. Because I was, out sick that day. Mm-hmm. And it's like, cool, do the homework and catch up. And it's like, cool, didn't you film the lecture so I can go just watch it? Right? How come all of these fucking teachers are in these rooms talking, and no one's filming it? Like, what in the fucking name of holy fucking Christ?
Yeah.
We have cameras pointed at parking lots, recording all day long. Parking lots. Not the teachers telling us what truth is and how to learn. We have no cameras on them, so that at any point you can go back and watch every lecture you've ever sat through.
Yeah.
It's not like, all right, here is the lecture you were in and you witnessed, and here's the link to it if you ever want to go back.
Yeah.
Fucking why?
Yeah.
Why the fuck isn't this happening already? Okay. Let's talk again about autonomous cars. Okay. So 30,000 Americans die a year in a car. Okay. 30,000 Americans die a year to guns. Alright? And we're losing our shit, or some people are. It's a big conversation in this country. More guns, less guns. It's killing so many people. Are you safer with a gun in your house, or are you safer without a gun in your house? Which one makes you safer? Which one makes your kids safer? Mm-hmm. It's a huge discussion right now. The exact same amount of Americans die every year in a car. Nobody gives a shit. We're not talking about it. Right?
Yeah.
I'm saying we need to have autonomous cars. I'm saying they're going to save us from the fucking running into walls and deers and each other. And I come and talk to Americans about it, and they're like, I'll never give up control. Mm-hmm. If I know that someone else out there has it, I'm a habit. If you say, what about this? Would you be in an autonomous car on a road where there's only autonomous cars? They'll be like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The problem that Americans have is, if that asshole gets to control his, I get to control mine. But then nobody cares if it makes them safer. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, I drove to I was talking about cars hitting deers. I drove to the supermarket, which is 20 minutes away from my house. I saw 2 dead deers.
Yep.
I'm going to start putting up the crosses on the side of the road for Jane Doe everywhere.
And
John Buck and Jane Doe, so that people can be like, oh shit, yeah, this really is a fucking problem. Well, somebody needs to teach these deers not to walk on our roads. So, autonomous cars are going to save us. Save your children. When you put your 16-year-old daughter on the road, she's the most at risk. Mm-hmm. Who dies the most in cars? The kids. The kids we're fucking putting in them, telling them to drive themselves to school at 6 a.m. in the fucking snow. Or 7 a.m. I'll say.
Yeah.
It's very, very dangerous. The same amount of people are dying. We don't give a shit. So why the fuck not? Why isn't the conversation focused on the things that are important? Because this conversation isn't to fix things. This conversation is to waste time. You want to fix things, just go fix them.
Yeah.
Don't have a conversation about it. Just be like, I'm sick of this. Fucking gross. Although, as a Pastafarian, I tried to do that, and I got no power to fix it. So I got to go out and scream at the fucking priests, and the bishops, and the deacons, and the prophets, and all these fucking liars, and take their power from them, eh?
Yeah.
How the fuck are we still giving our power to the fucking Catholic priests? How the fuck are those people still raising up that fucking liar, calls them murderers to their face, because they what? They wanted to punch their dad one time when they were 17? Good Christ. Meridian, every single time I see it, I'm like, I'm saying this wrong. It's supposed to be Miranda. Every single time. Miranda Wright says, good mushroom music there. What was that? That was, I Davanita by Pearl Jam. And yeah, I bet they were on mushrooms when they wrote that. It's off the album Vitalogy, which is, sort of after they were headed off in their own direction, right? Mm-hmm. They really hit the radio hard with 10, and then Versus came out. I got that for Christmas one year. That was great. Listened to that over and over. And then they were like, you know what? Fuck you guys. Fuck radio music. We're going to do whatever the fuck we want.
Yep.
And good for them. Vitalogy. It's a good one. But it's sort of just like a weird jam they have on there. It's not really a song. But yeah, I could do with a fucking 45-minute version of that. Sounds great. Holy shit, recording teachers is a brilliant idea. Yeah, it's easy to be brilliant now. It's very, very easy in this world to look forward because the whole system is trying to get you to not do that. The whole system is saying, don't look forward. All of your solutions are here. Don't try to solve anything. So the hardest part about being brilliant isn't seeing something, it's allowing yourself to look that way.
Yeah. And as soon as you do.
As soon as you do, everything you see will be new.
Yeah.
Everything you say will be brilliant. Mm-hmm. Because the place you will be a place nobody's been. The place you are looking, you will be looking at things no human has seen. It's easy to say brand new things when you're describing a planet nobody's seen. Mm-hmm. When you're like, I'm looking at Saturn. It's a planet like ours, but it has a ring. Brilliant! A ring? I would have never thought of that. Mm-hmm. Nobody would have. You just have to look. You just have to allow yourself the fear to face the fear of going a place no one's been brave enough to go before. And you're very, very capable of that because this society is 50 years behind.
Yeah.
Especially after we maggoted, right? Mm-hmm. Especially after we wrote on hats and we all voted. Can we please be closer to the 1960s? Because this future stuff is really making me afraid.
I'm nervous.
I'm worried that some of my kids won't be as white as me. Some of my grandchildren might be brownish. What if my great-grandchildren don't even speak English? My whole culture will have died. Let's move back. Mm-hmm. Let's go back to the 60s where we could tell them to go to the back of the bus.
Yeah.
So it's easy to see the future because we're behind. It's easy. Just don't let yourself be behind and you'll be a genius. Don't listen to the lies of the past. Don't believe them. And you'll be ahead of pretty much everyone on this goddamn planet. So, yeah, it is. It's easy to see things. It's easy to make innovations. It is a brilliant idea to record the teachers, all the lectures you sat through. Mm-hmm. And they should be handing it to us because they're giving us this education, right? And especially in college. Fucking, why don't I have all of these lectures still? Because I paid for them. You know? The fucking asshole was up there talking. I raised my hand. I want to see all of those. I want to watch them in double speed over and over again. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. But instead, you've got to pay an extra $300 for the fucking book, right? Mm. And then you probably got to sell it back during your next semester to pay for your new books. You don't get to fucking keep those all on a shelf, do you?
No.
So, yeah. Jane Doe, nice pun. Thank you very much. Yeah, I generally this is how I rate comedy. The very, very, very most primitive comedy that we have is watching. Well, it's double. It's sort of like watching people get hurt. Everyone loves to laugh at that. It transcends language. A fucking person walking with an umbrella in the rain and just slipping down on the butt. It's super hard to not to laugh. And shitting as well. You know, shit jokes, scatological jokes. All of these jokes are very primitive comedy, right? And we can laugh at them, but like, you know, we shouldn't think of them as the genius punchlines, right? Low-hanging fruit, as it were. And then right above that, the easiest jokes to make, pain and shit and all that shit. Right above that is puns. and then above that is actual comedy. So puns are not my favourite part about the religion, the Flying Spaghetti Monster, and how ironic it is that this religion is just chock-a-block with puns, minestrones, and yeah, ramen. Everyone loves the puns, and so if you ever hire me to or commission me, I suppose, to do a wedding service. No offense, but you might not want me because I'm going to do a minimum of puns. If what you want for your wedding service is a full glut of puns, you don't want me to do it, eh? Yeah, puns are not my favourite part of this. Although, you know, I like them. I like the good ones when they come along. Minestrone is my favourite. Also, antipasties, and I like calling myself a pasta.
Warm noodly sauce.
Yeah.
Spirit, you know.
Yeah. The best pun is his noodly appendages, because that's not just a pun. It's also a rebranding of the Holy Ghost. I like that a lot. You say it's the Holy Ghost, but I say it's this, and it's telling me this right now. Isn't it telling you that right now? Mm-hmm. And so I really like talking about that, but it's more than a pun. It's a reflection. Mm-hmm. The reflection is whether and it's not really funny. Nobody's gonna laugh at it. But yeah.
There's a Pastafarian we watched a long time ago. He went to a college campus. Did he have a lot of puns in his? I can't remember his name. Was it like something American?
Oh, you're talking about Captain O'Awesome?
Awesome.
A long time ago, there was this man named Captain O'Awesome, and one day, only one day, I think, he went out to his school that he went to, and I think he'd done it with his father on the camera, and he'd done a bit over and over, and I definitely stole that for the first year of my ministry, and I did his bit. Captain O'Awesome. Shall we watch it?
Yeah.
It's very long. I suppose we can watch it. Aida Venita. Yeah, I don't know why, but that song just sticks in my brains, and then my brain just sort of chants it over and over and over. Let's look it up. Pastafarian street preacher. Oh, it's me! No, that's silly. Let's see where this one guy is. Pastafarian preaching. No, not this one. This one. Flying Spaghetti Monster preacher. J Froggy. Captain O'Awesome. And look at this. We're going to watch it together.
We are going to touch a lot of people today. We're bringing the message of the Flying Spaghetti Monster and Intelligent Falling to people. Many people will be touched by his noodly appendage. We are the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
Awesome. Good luck.
Blessed be his noodly appendage. We're spreading some noodly love today. Believe in the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Have you heard of the Flying Spaghetti Monster? You have heard of him?
How's everything going?
Yeah. Are you a Pastafarian? No? Have you thought of joining up? Because there are several good reasons to become a Pastafarian. You haven't heard about the Flying Spaghetti Monster? How many guys are interested in becoming Pastafarian? The Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Well, may his noodly appendage bless you today. Have you heard of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster? Believe in the Flying Spaghetti Monster, people. You'd have to be stupid not to look around you and see that all of this was clearly made by a flying, invisible spaghetti monster. It is the only logical explanation. God is real and he is made of pasta. He is all around us and invisible. His noodly appendage is everywhere. I know you want to. You want to feel the love of his noodly appendage. The Flying Spaghetti Monster has 3 immutable properties. 1, he is invisible and everywhere. Number 2, he can pass through solid objects. 3, he is made of pasta. Unlike other gods, I have a distinct advantage over them. Number 1, Pastafarians do not try to kill you. Some other religions, I won't mention them, Islam, are trying to kill you at this very day. We will never go into a discotheque and blow ourselves up. We only wish to spread the love of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Number 2, we are not trying to take your money. Some religions, I do not want to name those religions, but I will only say that they rhyme with Jislam and Bislianity. Okay? And possibly Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, etc. Jainism, Zoroastrianism. Try to take your money. Pastafaria's, the love of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, is free for everyone. Number 3, we do not try to scare you into converting. There is no hell, there is only the love of the newly embraced. People come to the flying spaghetti monster only for that love and the advantages that believing in the flying spaghetti monster brings in your life. Number 4, dressing as a pirate is awesome. No other religion preaches dressing as a pirate like we do. It also helps fight global warming. And number 5, we make as much sense as any other religion. And who is going to believe in something ridiculous like a man being nailed to a tree to save us from his own sins that he created 6,000 years before, when the world was clearly created by a giant invisible spaghetti monster?
That's right.
Preach it, Reverend, preach it! I am a Pastafarian, and your church is a pagan church. Pastafarian is the only real religion. The flying spaghetti monster is the only God. Truly a heathen, for God is real and he is made of pasta. There's no evidence for any of your false gods, like Allah, Jesus, or any of them. The flying spaghetti monster is the only true God. Do you have any questions? No. No. So
You are very explanatory.
can I sign you up for a 1-year plan or a 5-year plan?
I don't think I'm going for any plans though.
No,
At the moment.
they come free of, at the moment.
moment.
Well, I'm sure his newly appendage will help you. Now, you can help me out another way, which is by getting our theory of intelligent falling taught alongside the evil theory of gravity.
What do you want taught in school?
What do I want taught in school? That is an excellent question. Now, we believe that the evil atheists in this institute are teaching you 2 false theories. One of the false theories is evolution, but we already have people fighting that in different religions. The other false theory is the theory of gravity, which is a lie. And I would note that the theory of gravity is only a theory.
So what is your theory of intelligent falling?
I am glad that you asked. The theory of intelligent falling, which says things do not just fall on their own. We're to expect that things fall by this magical force called gravity. No, things fall because the flying spaghetti monsters intentionally pushes them down with as many noodly appendages which are everywhere and invisible. Let me explain to you. Intelligent falling is well supported by the evidence. Consider for a moment that people have been growing taller in the last few decades. Maybe not you, but many people have, in fact, been growing taller globally. And also at the same time, there has been more people altogether on the planet. Now, as there have been more people, there have been less noodly appendages to go around. So clearly, people have been rising up. This is direct evidence that the theory of intelligent falling is true. Another evidence. Pasta came out of China. Now, what do we know about the Chinese? They're short. Exactly. The Chinese are very short. And there are a lot of them. That clearly shows that pasta came out of there. There are the most noodly appendages in China, and the Chinese are the most blessed people of the flying spaghetti monster. A petition to teach our theory, and I would like to get this, if you guys could sign this, it's to get it taught alongside theory of gravity. I will go present it to the dean myself. So far, we, the science students of this university, demand that intelligent falling is taught alongside the theory of gravity.
I would love to.
You would? Thank you. Thank you. I will present this personally to the dean on video camera for record of all to show that there is an evil atheist theory to suppress the theory of intelligent falling.
I feel it's an attack on my favorite religion.
Yeah. Do not the students deserve choice to both learn intelligent falling and the theory of gravity?
We don't try to kill you. We are trying to kill
Thank you. May his noodly appendage bless you and yours. Would you like to sign to get choice? Now, if you can sign here, I will present this to the dean.
I would gladly sign.
Yes. You were helping the cause. I will present this to the dean in person. However, would you like to have the students have choice, or are you an evil Nazi bastard who just supports the atheist theory of gravity?
Sign. Go sign. Go sign.
This is for choice of students to learn both the theory of gravity and the theory of intelligent falling in this instance.
intelligent falling.
The dressing like a pirate helps fight global warming. Now, if you can see on this chart here, and you can have that. Now, if you turn to the second page of your pamphlet, you can see global temperature has been rising in the last 300 years. And at the same time, there has been less pirates in the earth. Now, we believe that if we could get more people to dress as a pirate, we can reverse the trend of global warming. So I am out here dressed as a pirate, trying to help fight global warming in the name of my god, the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
I believe.
You believe? Are you a Pastafarian? Oh, yes. Yes. May his newly appendage bless you and yours. Okay. May his newly appendage bless you. Yes. Yes, another fellow Pastafarians. We are the fastest growing religion in the world. God bless you. So you're back. Have you converted? Have you converted to Pastafarian? You've converted. Are you on the 1-year plan or the 5-year plan? The 5-year plan. We have a convert here at the Flying Spaghetti Monster. No, the Flying Spaghetti Monster is the world's fastest growing religion. 2 years ago, there was only one Pastafarian. Today, there are over 2 million Pastafarians in the globe. Now do that math for a second, people. If you do that same math, 2 million times the believers that there were 2 years ago, 2 years from now, there will be 4 trillion believers. I have pamphlets. May your newly appendage help you grow tall and healthy. A sign from the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
Come on. Yeah. Everybody gets that 15 minutes of fame. 15 minutes of fame. Y'all get some and you like it, okay? But it's all about change. Yeah.
So there's Captain O'Awesome being pretty fucking awesome. That was posted February 15th, 12,009. So that's over 10 years ago that happened. So, yeah. Sorry about that screech in the middle of it. I totally forgot about that. What a great work he done there. Yeah, so that's sort of first wave Pastafarianism. He had a lot of first wave ideas. Unfortunately, since then, we've found a lot of evidence that disproves intelligent falling, and intelligent design as well. And so you can talk to Bobby Henderson about how he still feels about these things, and Bobby might not have caught up to science, and that's fine because he's everyone's got their own sort of point of view coming, but like. That was where we were 10 years ago. We're very, very further along now. There were only 2 million Pastafarians back then. And now, if you talk about not just globularly, but like in the entire universe, there's trillions of us Pastafarians, eh? Unfortunately, we can't have real accurate data from other planets because our communication with them is only like spiritual and sort of difficult to do. So very few of us can talk to people from other universes and ask them how many Pastafarians you got over there. But it's a lot. It's tons. Alright, that was fun. He done real good. I stole a ton of his shit. I mean, incorporated many of the ideas that Flying Spaghetti Monster gave to him, which of course, since they come from God, are in a public domain, because no one can own the words of God, except for the people who print the Bible, who say they own the words of God, and you can't fucking steal their words of God. I find that ironic, that fucking copywriting the Bible, copywriting the Book of Mormon. I find it super ironic that Joseph Smith was like, take this copyright up to Canada and sell it for thousands of dollars. That's why I wrote this book, is for the copyright money. And okay. Yeah. That's ironic. I find it very ironic that the people who wrote the loose cannon lose their shit that when it gets fucking reproduced without their permission. I find that super ironic. But I don't think they're doing it ironically. Yep. So, alright, 11:20. Thanks for everybody coming. We've got probably another 40 minutes here, maybe. When are we leaving, Joe? When do we have to get out of the studio? About 40 minutes, maybe longer,
That's
we'll
great.
see.
40 minutes, yeah.
40 minutes or longer or less, one of those. I went to a store once and it was like, at least 99 cents or more. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, how... You said every number in the universe. Like, almost 12 or more. Like, under 12 or more. What the fuck? Ugh. Went to a dollar store yesterday, and it was actually $1 and up. Yeah, every store is that, isn't it? So I don't know why.
Advertisement is
Yeah.
dollar or everything. Price.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys like it when people drop beats, but you're gonna have to deal with it right now. Because the toadies don't give a shit about that 4-4 shit.
Make up your mind. Decide to walk with me around the lake tonight. Around the lake tonight by my side. By my side. I'm not gonna lie. I'll not be a gentleman behind the boathouse. I'll show you my dark secret. I'm not gonna lie. I want you for mine. My blushing bride. My lover, be my lover, yeah. Don't be afraid, I didn't mean to scare you. So help me, Jesus. I can promise you, you will stay as beautiful with dark hair and soft skin forever. Forever. Make up your mind. Make up your mind, and I'll promise you I will treat you well, my sweet angel. So help me, Jesus.
Jesus, he says. Alright, I'm looking at my notes here, and there's only one note left. Let me read it to you. Deface the currency. This comes to us. This phrase comes to us from a man who is older than Jesus. Let me tell you about how it worked over there. Once upon a time, everyone was bored out of their fucking minds. The sun went down, and there was jack all to do. Total fucking nothing. And you were still awake, especially in the goddamn winter.
Yeah.
When the fucking sun wouldn't stay up for more than fucking, what, 8 hours a day. 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do we got? 14 hours of just darkness and fucking shit all to do. And so we got to make these fires so it's not so fucking dark. And, you know, if there's a fire, we just standing around it. What do we do now? Let's talk to each other. And then one day, this motherfucker's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take some of these stories, I'm going to write them down long. And he made the novel. You know what the very first novel was? The Iliad, isn't it?
Oh, cool.
Isn't that the first novel? The Iliad was written by a guy named Homer in an area. Shall we look at the map? Shall we do some mapping? Map. Let's see where the Iliad was written. It might not be. You might be able to say that the fucking Epic of Gilgamesh was the first novel, but I think it was the Iliad, really. I think the idea of the novel was developed in the Greece area. Let's see. Here we go. Don't look up here at all my things, you'll know what's coming. Also, don't look here because you'll know where I live-ish. I live near Indian Hills and Columbine. But we're going out to the planet, and we're moving the planet that's not quite loaded yet. See what happens when I'm streaming? It's very, very... Look at it. I can't load shit. Look at the planet. That's not right.
Glowing globe.
I'm going to turn it off until the fucking planet gets its shit together. Oh, as instantly, as soon as I've done that. Alright. So this is the modern planet, and this is the area we call Turkey now. This is the area we call Greece. This is Syria. There's Jerusalem. Oh, look at that. They've changed the map now that fucking Donald Trump was like, you know what, why don't you guys just have up to there? Alright, fucking whatever. Alright, so, here is Greece, this is Athens, this is Thessalonica. And so Homer wrote a book about a war that was sort of historical already when it came around. And so he mythologized it. He talked about the Iliad and the Odyssey, he talked about Achilles. Achilles was part of this war, and Paris shot him in the fucking tendon, and he died, and like all this shit is bullshit because Achilles' mom never took him to the fucking river Styx, right? It's mythology. It's a novel that he wrote, and he wrote it in this area right here, Greece, in the year 500 before Christ lives, which was the year 9,500 is about when he wrote it. In the year 9,500. Because we're in the year 12,019. So he was in the year 9,500-ish. Homer. And he did this thing called the novel. And then, in Greece, lived Socrates and Plato and Aristotle. I'm sorry, not Socrates, because he's also fictional.
You're right.
So they came up with this, they had these plays that they were doing, they had these novels that they were creating, and the novel was a very novel concept, and everyone around there's more puns for you, everyone around here loved it. And so then these motherfuckers in Turkey, these guys over here, this is where Paul lived. Paul lived here. You remember the letter to Thessalonica? This letter is to right here. You know Patmos, the Isle of Patmos? You ever heard of that? There it is.
Wow.
That's where the Book of Revelation was written. Out here, in the world of fucking fictional novels. So, where the fuck was I going with this? Deface the currency. Alright, so this comes to us... Oh shit, don't read any of this. Now you're knowing what I was looking for. I was looking for Robert F. Clement Park in West Bells Avenue, Littleton. Don't look at my history, goddammit! I gotta fucking erase this. Good Christ. I gotta close all this. I don't want you to know I was looking up Roadhouse. So, where the fuck was Diogenes from? Sinop, right? Is that right? Where the fuck is Sinop? There it is! I found it! No, Sinop. Where the fuck is that? Here it is. Sign up. So over here lived a man named Diogenes. And oh look, it's on the north coast of Turkey. And so he was very influenced by the philosophers in this area, and left. Probably was kicked out because he was defacing currency, and then lived in other places in the Greek Empire, where they loved the new idea of this novel. This novel was huge, and so he was like, deface the currency, and all these philosophers were from there, where they'd just be like, I'm a philosopher, and so I sit around all day in a fucking colonnaded building and just talk shit, which is what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Talking shit. We're doing a very Greek thing here, of philosophizing. And so anyway, fucking, that's the point. The New Testament is fucking bullshit attempts at novel at the second,
Wave of
well,
noveling.
yeah. But it was 500 years later, you know, like first, second, third, fifth waves happened in Greece.
Gotcha.
Fucking, this is the second country, right? It was like, it's like America's making films. Look at all these films, all these American films, and India's got Bollywood. And I was like, okay, cool, but you know, their films are a little bit different. Like their sophistication is approaching the sophistication of Hollywood in the 70s, right? Or about there, right? They're only, 40 years behind in sophistication. Except for the Jackie Chan one. The Jackie Chan Bollywood movie was great. You should go see it. I can't remember what it was called. But anyway, this is where Paul lived. He told a story about people that lived here. So, it was fiction. He never went there. He was lying. He said, back when I was, in Jerusalem. You never were in Jerusalem. He was on the road to Damascus. He says he was on the road from Jerusalem to Damascus. I doubt he ever even been to Damascus. He's telling all these people around here, Thessalonica. Who else did he write? He wrote a letter to the Hebrews. I guess that doesn't count though. He wrote a letter? Corinth. He wrote a letter to the Corinthians. Let's see where Corinth is. Oh, and Greece still. Right? All of this fucking shit is to people who live in Turkey and in Greece. This is the area that Christianity began. Because the very first writings that we have about it are Paul's. No one wrote about it before Paul. Nobody. And there were people in this area who were writing things. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
So Paul created it here. He exported it to a lot of places. It got to Rome, and about the same time it got to Rome, it got to Jerusalem. It didn't derive in Jerusalem and then spread this way. It derived here and then spread both directions. But anyway, 500 years before any of that shit happened, this asshole was born in Sinop, and they kicked him out of Sinop, because he was crazy. And now, you go to the town of Sinop, there's a huge statue to him. So go ahead and get kicked out of your hometown, because after you die, they're going to fucking revere you.
What is it?
Immortalize. Yeah. Here's Macedonia. Thessalonica. This thing right here I've always found to be very interesting. I think this is... I thought that was... Yeah, this is Macedonia. They're trying to change their name now. They don't want to be known as Macedonia anymore. I don't know why. But I like this three fingers thing right here. So, Diogenes defaced the currency. So then he moved to Greece, like Greece proper, I think. Well, what else do we want to talk about him? He lived like a dog, he said. Everyone called him a dog. He's like, well, if I'm a dog, I'm gonna fucking pee right here then, and he did, right? He's like, if I'm such a dogger, then I'm going to bite you, and he did. So that's where the he was one of the first cynics, and now cynical means something kind of different that he meant by it. And so it comes from the Greek word for dog is the cynic.
Wow.
Yeah, because he lived like a dog.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because he was like, all this shit that you guys are doing is bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. This isn't it. You guys are creating a shared dream, and it's not true, and it's going to hurt you. And the more you respect the currencies of these systems, the more of your power you give to them. So deface the currencies. Always do that. When you see a currency, when you have a currency, you can use it as long as you're defacing it. It's dangerous to not deface the currencies of these systems. Otherwise, you are supporting them. You are giving them your humanity. And ironically, the fucking Christians have defaced the American currency with their fucking shit. I'm gonna get the letter. Let's talk about the letter, because I was preaching about this, and I want to have my mind a little bit straight on this. So Salmon P. Chase. Let's see if we can get this guy. Salmon P. Chase, this douche. Let's go to Wikipedia, shall we? Salmon, what a fucking name that is. It's a fish, you dumbass. Salmon Portland Chase, Portland. The word right there, land. It's a person named after a place. We got places named after persons, we got persons named after places. What the fuck is going on here?
It's just craziness.
So this is the dick mouth that fucking has his name. This is Chase. Chase Bank. This is fucking him still. He died in 64. He died in 73. No, when the fuck did this dick die? Died in 73. He did die in 73. Okay. And his will, his wants and desires still have a mark on this planet. We haven't erased his bullshit yet. He's been dead for 140 years, and his will still exists. What a fucking crime that is. He's dead. He has no will.
Yeah.
And we are carrying it forward like fucking dumbasses. Let's see the letter. The letter. It happened while he was the Secretary of the Treasury. Blee blah blorp. Let's find the other guy that he done it with. Him and oh shit, I know this guy's name. Hold on a minute. Let me find him too. In God We Trust. Maybe this will be it. Oops. No. Don't turn that camera on. That would have been embarrassing. I'm not even in my makeup at all. So here's the wiki on it. I want the letter. Can I have the letter? The motto, blah blah blorp. Eisenhower, shut the fuck up. James Pollock. It was before this. Who wrote? Reverend, Mark R. Watkinson of, quote, Ridleyville. It's this letter. Show me this letter. It's probably one of these. Relieve the ignominy of heathenism. Can we see this? History of In God We Trust? No. I want that letter. It's in my scriptures. I'm going to have to go to the car and get them. But basically, this dickmouth wrote a letter to this asshole, and then this asshole was in charge of this guy, James Pollock, and so he told him to do it. And they, together, defaced the currency. Because they put on it this bullshit, In God We Trust, and in the letter, they confessed to each other that if the nation ended, and they didn't get to change anything about it, the people, the historians of the future, would rightly, they say, judge us to be an heathen nation. We would rightly be judged a heathen nation. That's the line in the fucking letter.
Yeah.
And that confesses America does not trust Jesus. We are a heathen nation. Now let's we three change it. Let's we three deface the currency with the name of a God that some of us don't trust. Let's do it. And so, it's your turn to deface it right back. It's your turn to cross off the God and write FSM.
Or truth.
Or truth. Or cross that whole thing off entirely, because the we means you. It means you. We the people. This country is by the people, of the people, for the people. It's ours. That's our money. It has been defaced by the Christians, and I'm defacing it back. Every dollar bill you have, it is your right, it is your duty, both as an American and as a cynic, to deface that currency. Diogenes, 500 years before the birth of the Christ that they defaced our currency with, told us to deface it. Okay? So, also, fucking Aesop is 500 years before Jesus. Like, all of these motherfuckers, all of this great fucking Greek thought was 500 years before the perfect man, and that asshole never even caught up to them. Okay?
Right.
He fucking, Paul was giving you a fucking second-hand version of the morality that the Greek philosophers had fucking handed out 500 years before. Paul was a bad imitation of what the Greek philosophers gave us. So, yeah, fuck Paul. Fuck the fucking God on our money. And, fuck this whole noise. And, yeah. If I had a bong right now, I'd totally bong. That's what I would do right now. No bonging for me. I hope you're out there bing-bonging, ladies and gentlemen. Fucking burn one down for me. Speaking of which, I don't know if you know much about Roy Batty. Let me tell you the story of Roy Batty. He was created to fight the wars, to do the hard labor. He was created as a slave class, and his whole life he was treated as that. And he fell in love, which he wasn't supposed to do, shouldn't have been capable of. But he did. He fell in love with not just life, and not just some of his friends, but, you know, everything. He fell in love more than he should have. And his love and his desire for more life, he lived in a circumstance where his life was limited. That he would live a certain amount of days, an exact amount of days, and none more. And that was the fate of him and his loved ones. And he escaped this slavery and came back to the place where he was created and hid there and trying to find his creator and talk to him and beg his creator for more. And he met his creator and realized his creator was as flawed as him. That there wasn't a perfection to seek. There was no one who could give him or his loved ones what they wanted.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shore of Orion. I watched sea beams glitter in the dark near 10,000 Gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in the rain.
So, that was a little clip from Blade Runner in memory of the protagonist of the film Blade Runner, Roy Batty, acted by Rutger Hauer. Howard? Rutger, who we lost the other day. At a youngish age, right? Everyone's dying of cancer nowadays. So that's sad. Too bad. Too bad. Still, caught on film forever. The mark of him will live for a long time. Hey,
Yeah.
we'll remember that story for ages. Let me see. Let's talk about Deface the Currency a little bit more another day. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Diogenes and sort of what he done. There's a story about he's been mythologized. Okay, a lot of these people, if Socrates ever lived, the stories that we tell about him are filtered through one of his students who looked at him with, rose-colored glasses. All the stories about him have been mythologized. We weren't looking at him from a historical perspective. He may have never lived, like Homer Simpson, eh? We could talk about Groening and Groening talk about his master Homer Simpson and like, cool, or his teacher, Homer Simpson. Like, right, but you're just making it up. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Aristotle or Plato, or how to go? Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, is that how it went? So maybe it was just Plato, Aristotle, and Plato just made up this character, Socrates, as a character, a play character, an old man up on the stage being like, I'm Socrates, listen to me, but never really lived.
Yeah.
And so Diogenes might be the same way. He might have really lived. He lived a little bit after Aristotle. Or no, Plato. He might have been contemporary to Plato. Plato might have mentioned him. And, they think they know where he lived because they found a lot of defaced currency in Sign Up. And they're like, this is him, it's Diogenes' house. Who else would have done this? But it could be made up. And definitely his interaction with Alexander the Great is just made up. So I'll tell you about that. One of these days, he was just chilling there, Diogenes, living in the fucking city. Oh, and these people came up with the word cosmopolitan. When people asked him, are you a citizen of blah blah blah, because that was important. Are you a citizen of Greece, or are you one of our subjects? His answer to that was, I'm a citizen of the cosmos. Maybe it wasn't Diogenes, but it wasn't one of the cynics, I think, said it. Like, I'm not Greek, I'm a cosmopolitan. I am not a citizen of your nation, of your empire. I'm a citizen of this world, of this universe.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's what the word cosmopolitan means, though now it means bourgeois fucking city person, right?
Yeah,
don't it? Like
yeah.
Parisian, cosmopolitan.
Fancy.
Oh, yeah, we worship the city. And there was a fight between the city, the idea of the city. What is the city? And should we serve it? And must we build the city? And the things that we do for the sake of the city. The army defends the city. The city gives us food, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, that was the idea back then. The nation state was the city state. Athens and Sparta and all these. And so he said, I'm not a fucking citizen of your city, fucker. I'm cosmopolitan. So he was sitting there enjoying the sun, and Alexander the Great was walking by, and he's like, oh, I've heard of you, Diogenes. Blah, blah, blah. Is there anything I can do for you? And Diogenes is like, you can get the fuck out of the sun. You can move to the right so you don't put your bullshit shadow on me. And so that is definitely a story.
Yeah.
And the story also continues that he walked away, the Prince of the Universe walked away and said, oh, I say, if I wasn't myself, I'd want to be Diogenes. And then Diogenes heard about that and he said, well, if I wasn't myself, I would also want to be Diogenes. Because that's who I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be the person that I am. And how very kind of that asshole to realize that he shouldn't be himself, he should fucking be me. Because, yeah, that's who I want to be also. But he said a lot more really interesting things. And it's more than just peeing in public. Although, right? Like, holy shit. Stop pretending that we don't pee 5 times a day. Like, what? we all gotta pee, we all gotta eat, we all gotta shit, we all gotta fucking breathe, we have all of these needs that we have, and then to pretend that some of them are like base. No, they all are. That's what we are.
Yeah.
We're like the dogs. And so, yeah, Diogenes is a person worth look-upping. Yeah, check that shit out. And if there are any Christians out there that want to fucking talk about some shit, let me know. We love talking to Christians about very important ideas, like who is responsible for your sin? How do you fucking repent? What does repentance looks like? Because you guys got it all wrong. Any Christians out there? You want to fucking talk? Let me know.
All wrong.
All wrong. Everything's all wrong. But anyway, let's premiere our fascinating conversation here. Let's move on to the part where we move on. We'll be back tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
We've been streaming for a couple hours today. We've got a couple hours tomorrow, probably the next day.
Yeah, Friday tomorrow.
Yeah, Yeah, Friday's a great day. We'll probably be really fucking drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how deep I can get into this fucking Kentucky whiskey 80 proof shit. But let's premiere this right now, and while we're premiering it, I will go pee in the streets just to prove that that I can. Return to editing, premiering it right now. All right, thanks, ladies and gentlemen. See you tomorrow.
Coming up only to hold you under, and coming up only to show you wrong, until